Hello, and welcome to another episode of Stu and the Nut, an online radio show and podcast focused on national security, policy, politics, and selfless service. We're here to give you an honest opinion, a different perspective, and hopefully a few laughs. We do this by not only interviewing guests, but also sharing our own perspectives and asking you, the listener, to interact with us on our chat room, via our Facebook page, and of course, on Twitter. Keep it funky. That's right, everyone. Keep it funky. How you doing, everyone? Welcome to another episode of Stu and the Nun. Stu here, and you see to my left, to your right, the Nun, who is very busy working on something. There he is.
Well, you know, sometimes you got to do the social media, brother. You got to do the share. You got to get the chat rooms fired up.
I know, man. My phone is vibrating. I should put it back in my pocket. That's what I'm just saying.
Yeah, good times.
I think you're tagging me.
I can't help but notice we're coordinated tonight. You got a little green on with a little multicam. I got a little black on with some Cryptech, you know, and we're representing some of our favorite things. We got some Enlisted 9 Fight Company, some new product line. Guardians of the Constitution, unlike Guardians of the Galaxy, Volume 2 Alpha, also known as the Second Amendment. But a little Guardians for me and a little GW, the original G-Dub.
The original G-Dub's flag. If you're not sure what this is, Appeal to Heaven, I'll give you a quick 5-second history lesson. George Washington, first 6 ships that he commissioned, put this as the flag on them, and this was the known, and it actually rooted from the tree riots, New Hampshire tree riots that happened 2 years before the Boston Tea Party. Google that stuff and look it up. Toby, what were you just showing on screen there, my friend? That was some fine-looking brown water.
Some Troy and Sons. That was a gift to me from you for my birthday. We were supposed to be together on my birthday, but you're a dirty sellout.
I am.
And so I'm just gonna drink your bourbon without you. And cheers to you and Troy and Sons.
Yeah. Well, I can't be there with you as your birthday's coming up, but you know I'm with you in spirit, brother. And as you sip that. No, I look at you like one of my sons. You're such a youngster.
Yeah, it's ever since I started growing hair, you know, like you look at me like I'm a whole new person.
I do.
Like, it's like you don't even know me.
I just need to nurture you to my bosom like my child. Yeah. But
well, hey,
so anyways, they got that. You're right. I wanted to point out it's kind of hard to see because it is camouflage, which is kind of the point. So the new, brand new first edition only one that exists, Enlisted 9 Fight Company hat. Check that out. Go to the Grunt Style Enlisted 9 page. Take a look at that. It is a sharp looking, man. It's a flex fit, which I love. Flex fit fits nice. I don't have the big hole in the back. I'll probably go rally cap partway through the show, but I wanted to make sure if you could see the logo on the front that you check it out. Be sure and check that out. And yes, working the Appeal to Heaven shirt. Loving our new swag from the Enlisted 9 Fight Company for sure.
Yeah, so really excited about that, and we might have an exciting announcement in 2 weeks about something else show related. But tonight is a very special night. It's something that I've wanted to do for a long time, but I've been waiting for the right moment, and you know, the timing is as it should be. The timing is as it should be. There's no more no better fitting time to have this guest on than right now.
Mr. Kim Jong-un. Oh wait, no, that's in a couple weeks. Yeah, my
sorry.
bad.
It's not. It's not. But this time, 14 years ago, I was in Mosul, Iraq. It's hard to believe it's been 14 years. I was bald then. I got hair now. Like how
it's going
times
backwards.
Change.
You're going backwards.
I'm going backwards. I'm the Benjamin Button I'm the real Benjamin Button. But no, 14 years ago today, I was in Iraq. I was in charge of a very small select group of guys that was starting up and creating and arming and employing what is now known as the Northern Iraqi Army. At the time, it was called the ICDC originally, which is the Iraqi Civil Defense Corps, and then it became the ING, also known as the Iraqi National Guard. And this was in Mosul, Iraq. We had a small compound located on Fob Merez, which most people, anyone that's been to Mosul in the real time of war, know that Fob Merez was what's up. And we also had another compound outside of Merez. But I had a lot of hard times getting started because typical American genius was, hey, here's the problem. Here's a 3x5 card. We want you to solve this problem. And the only thing we're going to give you is money. And I had to solve a lot of issues. And one of the issues I had to solve was linguistics. My first couple of weeks starting, I had no interpreter support. I had a hard time getting interpreters that would be willing to work with me. And then a young man, a very young man, came into our lives, and his name is Khalid, and he is our guest tonight. And I want to welcome him onto the show for several reasons, but the timing is of the show is perfect. My man, welcome to the show. It's so good to see you.
Thank you, sir. Nice to see you too.
So the cool thing about this, everybody listening, is that my man, if you see, he is sitting in front of a bunch of really cool clocks. So yeah, he knows what time it is because it's showtime. But the time is his. He owns his time. He owns that shop. He is an entrepreneur. He is a successful small business owner and runner in the state of Florida. That's right. I said that right. In the United States of America. And what else is he? A citizen. As of 2 weeks ago, not even 2 weeks ago, 10 days ago, he became a naturalized citizen of the United States. So here's a guy that I'm going to let him explain it, but full circle from being in his home, fighting for his home, to creating a new home and a better home, a home with a future for his family. Khalid, tell us what it's like to go from where you went to where you're at today.
First of all, thank you for having me. I really appreciate it. And
go.
Thank you for having me. I really appreciate it. The journey did not succeed by myself. I had a lot of help from a lot of good people. Without good people around it, it would not really work. The individual, you need to have the determination. You need to have the mindset, but without some assistance from good people, it's really difficult to make it. To be modernized, to understand the system, how it's worked, that was the biggest problem. To get to the U.S., I entered the U.S. in August 4th, 2009. That's when I entered the United States. And it was shocking. It was shocking for me. It's not, you enter the U.S., that I thought it was the biggest thing you could ever achieve. For me, it's truly the biggest thing. The reason is for the heritage. Middle Easterns, very difficult to get to the U.S. during the time of war. People just like me, they are doing bad stuff over there. We saw them, you and I, we worked on a lot of them. So to get here, that was number one. As soon as you get here, to become Americanized, that would be the problem. How to learn to live in a civil society, how to, to be part of it. That was my biggest challenge. The system does not have that support. That's the sad part. The United States, it has it for refugees, for asylum. If you come here and you fair for your life, they will help you with that. But as a immigrant to the United States, you're left alone. You just have to go figure it out. And that's exactly what I did. Just by myself on the streets and figure it out. I have the support and the love of people. They care for me. And one thing at a time, I gained every single sale of knowledge in the U.S. Like the smallest thing, the child here, let's put in like the child, 5 years old, they know things. I need to learn it. I don't know how to do these things. Like the little thing, I don't know how to explain it. Like literally, like you open a wrapper, how you to find a place. This is a simple thing. In Iraq, there is no garbage can. You just throw it everywhere. You know, so it's these the little thing. Yeah.
That is true.
Yeah, the mail. I'm going to tell you, there is something every immigrant get to the U.S. The first week you get a letter in the mail. It's called welcome note from Homeland Security, like to tell you like welcome to the United States. When I saw that letter, I started to cry, not because the letter has nothing in it. It's just politics. But my name on a piece of paper. Somebody wrote my name. I never have a mail in my life. I was 29 years old. I never seen a mail in my name. Like somebody really spent the time to write my name in a piece of paper. It was not real. You know, I really cried. I said, oh my God, somebody wrote it. After thousands of bills now, I changed my mind.
Hey, so let's go back a little bit because, you know, to go to a place where you're excited to get mail, what context does that come from? When you and I met, you were 2009. So you were 23, 24 years old?
22. I was 22. I believe I was 22 years old. I was in my second year in the accounting college. I was still going to college. And I remember you gave me some permissions to go to take my test. And I graduated from an accounting, So that was the beginning. And it was tough. It was tough. First of all, when I decided to work with the American, it was actually working for myself. I believed we need help of the coalition forces at that time to save my people, the people I grew up around, to educate us, because ignorant, it's a curse, and we've been cursed by it. And without getting some education from the outside, you can't make it. Unfortunately, after 5 years after your unit left, it took me about 4.5 years after that, I gave up on that. A lot of ignorant people in Iraq, it's really difficult to educate them. So when I start working, I went to the FOB Courage, I believe that's the name of it. And I applied for a job as translator. It was difficult. It took me 5 tries to go to the gate, and they throw me out. I think you know what I'm going to say, this, Mr. Give me $1. There's a lot of these outside. You know, so I go there and tell them I can communicate a little bit in English. My English is really not as great as I would hire myself. So they didn't let me get in. So I had a trick. I was in college, so I have a girl. I told her, do you want to come with me to go see some American people? She says, sure. So I took her with me to the base, and that's like she's a really good girl. Like
I remember.
Yeah. So awesome. So she came with me to the gate, and we started chatting with the soldiers and the translator in the gate in FOB Courage. And he said, there is a job for her probably inside. I immediately put the Haji face. She can't walk by herself. I have to guard her. So I accessed. Yes, I went.
The Haji face, I love it.
Well, you know, like you immediately play that. I play that here sometimes immediately. I know English. I can't. No, I'm just joking.
No, it's brilliant, my man. You saw an opportunity and you took it. You know, necessity is the mother of invention. And I think too often, you know, people don't put time and effort in. You know, they give up too easy. And you had a hard road because you ended up working for me, which is probably the shittiest job in already a shitty country.
I'm sorry to interrupt you. Actually, working with you, training the ING and ACDC or whatever that thing is, the Abtal guy, the greatest thing I learned, it was the diversity in language. You didn't teach soldiers. You created a military unit. They needed armors, snipers, officers, medic, rescue, drivers, supply, chain of command, all these, and the vocabulary we use. We know the way to speak as soldiers, but to use this vocabulary is different. So that really create a great foundation for me after your unit left, the 123 infantry, the Tomahawk. Yeah,
Tomahawks.
Tomahawks. Yes, sir. After they left, I got really strong in my job because I can't fit in anything. When I worked with intelligence, I'm just right there. I know all their lingo. I worked with medics. I know all their lingos. We get an attack. I know you get the lingo for the military to do things. So I don't want to say I become an asset, but I think I become, because all the soldiers I worked with, until now, they are really appreciate what we did. So,
Well, you were an absolute asset to me. The just to share with our audience some context. Uh, at that moment in time, the Iraqi general population were not doing much to support themselves. There was an election about a year away. We knew an election was coming. We'd planned for it with the Coalition Provisional Authority. And what we were trying to do as a nation was to try and get, Iraq more self-sustainable, more self-sufficient. And there was forces, the enemy, we'll call them, that did not want us to be successful. And we then, this little unit, not just the American people, which was a small unit of guys like Todd Vance, Mike Susi,
Adam Bowman,
Adam Bowman, Williamson, Purdue, a great guy that we lost a couple of years later, Drew Jensen, Brian Peeler, Eshelman. We had some just stand-up guys there. We became like the biggest target. And the day we officially started and moved all the Jundies to our fob to start training, the shelling just started, and it was malicious. We lost some soldiers that night. We lost a really fine American female sergeant by the name of Ruba Clava from 296. But no interpreter was willing to work with us, and the very few interpreters that would, fell on. They fell on hard times. When I say hard times, they were targeted for execution, and it was really sad that anyone that was willing to help, anyone, even just with their words, just to use language. And here was an opportunity for the Iraqi population to stand up for itself. But the terror was so great and the fear was so real that anyone that came to work for us, especially directly for us, was subject to a immediate target. There was bounties on people's head. They were trying to take pictures of anyone and just get it out there for people to kill. And along comes this young guy, this Khalid guy, and dude, he had cannonballs swinging from between his legs. And no, they were, brother, Troy, like, you have no idea, man. Like, this kid, he couldn't fight. He was just trying to get a job, and he was trying to survive, and he was there for all the right reasons, and he jumped in. And so we did a basic training program, and he translated everything that we were teaching the Jundi, no matter what it was, vehicular maintenance, basic rifle marksmanship, drill and ceremony, how to size uniforms, whatever it was. I mean, think of the most basic of training and the most intense immersion that you can do. And he was the only guy I had for like months. The only guy I had that could. And, I was trying to listen to people and try and figure out what they were saying, inflection, body language. And, sometimes I'd pick up on something, and sometimes Khalid would look at me and be like, that dude's trying to kill you, bro. That dude wants to do you no favors. And, let
me ask you something, Toby.
I want to thank you.
And let me ask you something. And Khalid could say, I know my Terps in Afghanistan, my interpreters, they would be able to mirror my tone or my emotion. They would be able to turn around and do that, the same thing. Did Khalid do the same kind of thing? Like when you were upset, he got the body language and all that into it. Yeah.
No, he was our guy, and our first cycle he came in as our first cycle was going, and like he said, we were building cohort units, and within these cohort units, like, we were doing everything. We were selecting their chain of command from within the unit. We were assigning jobs and specialties due to like performance and different factors. But like Khalid, at first, like, he was like, all right, man, I got this college class I got to go take an examination for. And I was like, I don't know if you want to leave the wire, bro. Like, and he was like, no. And he would like dip out and he would go take his examinations. He'd go check on his family, which, you know, like Khalid, I understand that not all your family did as well as you.
It's it's you actually, believe it or not, I don't think about it at all. And now we're talking about it. It's just refreshing the whole thing. It looks like we opening the can. It's devastating. Actually, I think the danger we were facing, it's not. Iraq is danger, first of all. Any war zone is danger, but the danger we were facing, as in that specific development unit. If you remember, we have the ING camp. We set the camp outside the wire for them to learn how to operate. So what we deal with the foreign elements, which is the Iraqi people. I'm facing with them every day. They come in the morning, we teach them for a week, and the weekend they leave. You remember the base, it will become empty. They all go home in the weekend. So you don't know, one of these get hunted as he's a good Iraqi, and the other 3 of them, they go home and they just sell our information to everybody. So we were like, we're gambling on who we teaching. We're teaching somebody how to shoot, and we don't know if he's going to shoot us or he's going to shoot the enemy. That's exactly the gamble. They are all look the same. As soon as they carry AK-47, they look the same. If they turn around, they are enemy. If they turn the other direction, they are with us. So it's really, so for me, it was challenging. And when I was leaving at that time, I think I can tell I was absolutely stupid. Like it was a bravery supposed to be, but they don't expect it. The circle around the base, it was Yarmouk. That's the Baghdad circle, they called it. Circle, after the unit left, it's become that's execution area. That a lot of things change in that environment.
No, Yarmouk Circle was less than a mile down the road from Baghdad Circle. And Yarmouk Circle, ISIS used as an execution point up until like last year.
It has a name.
Whooped that ass.
It has a name. It's Death Circle. Absolutely, that's what it's named. That's nickname. It's Death Circle. So I have a few counter things. And a couple years later, it was interesting. One time I took I'm not going to really talk about a close personal thing. There's no point. But I remember I went and I took a cab, luxury. I had money to buy a cab, to rent a cab, not to have a passenger seat. I don't know if you know this. It looked like a bus. 5 people rent one cab to go for one destination as poor people. Yeah. So I have enough money to pay for the whole car for me. So I sat there, and the guy, he actually knows me. And he was giving me that stare. I'd say, what are you doing here? I didn't answer to him. I just looked at him, and he dropped me, and he told me, this is a whole pass. I remember that. He said, because I know you. Like, I have helped him a lot. And actually, I saved his son one day. His son fell from a building, and I took him to the hospital. So he gave me that look. He said, this is a whole pass in Arabic. Like, that's, if I see you next time. He actually a hunter. He go to the circle, and he pick up people work for the American, and he take them, and that's it. That's the last ride in their life. They just get killed. And then a couple of years later, actually, I found one of his hotel. He owned a hotel. It's been actually published as the execution site for Iraqi people. Actually, it's called Babel Hotel. Your unit, it was actually the first. I know. You know what I'm talking about. One of the first contact your striker unit has. Yeah. It was right there in front of it. That's his hotel. Yeah. So there is a lot of bad memories, a lot of challenges. But one thing I would never forget that, and I would never change. I was the face. I can never hide my face. I never cheat, because we're doing the right thing. Yes, they consider us enemy. They consider us the invader. But you know what? We did not. We have code of honor we work on. We're trying to save Iraqi people, and that's what we did. And I really did. I do believe until now, like, we did the right thing for that nation. It's just the nation. The intention was good, but the plan was bad. Let's put it this way. Anyhow.
No, you bring up.
So
one thing, Troy.
Go ahead, sir. I'm sorry.
Go ahead, Toby.
One thing, Troy, that he brought up that was super crucial to me, and one thing I would not tolerate, and was that if someone put on a face mask. A lot of guys, they'd want to get paid and serve as the job, right? But they'd put on a baklava or something, to hide their identity, and I would not tolerate that. If you were gonna get paid, and you were gonna do the job, you had to show your face. You had to be man enough to not cower, and Khalid led the charge on that, and I always appreciated that. And in fact, I even mentioned that in our blog post on our website. If you haven't gone, check it out, www.stewandthenun.com, because many people would cower in fear and hide their face, and kind of half-heartedly serve. But really what they were doing is they were just taking the money. And Khalid didn't half-heartedly serve. He served wholeheartedly. It came at great expense to his family. It came at great expense to himself. And he never hid his face. He always stood on the side of righteousness. And, I'm alive today because of him, and I'm grateful to him. My family's grateful to him. And, the fact that, we were able, to see him arrive in America is one of the greatest blessings that you could ever imagine. So Khalid, we had Troy's interpreter from Afghanistan on about 7 months ago. And, he too is trying to become an American, and, and it's tough. It's really tough. And
yeah, I think we got him. 2 weeks in the country. Right, we got him right after he got here.
He touched down.
Yeah.
And one of the reasons why we wanted to have you on is because we want to show that it can be done. If you really believe in what America is, and you want to be part of it, you can do it, and you can do it legally. It's a pain in the ass, and it sucks. And like you and I were talking, the INS people aren't always polite. They're sometimes jackasses. But you did it, man. And when there's a picture, it's your profile on our website right now, is the picture of you holding your certificate. Tell us what it was like to become a citizen right before the 4th of July, and what was 4th of July like this year, knowing that you are a treasure in this country, loved and protected by the Constitution of this country, and that you deserve to be here, and you are truly an American.
Absolutely. I have a quick thing about that. First of all, to get the certificate and to become an American, it was because of the immigration system and how it's worked. It's look like I'm in shock. When I swear the oath, I was in shock. I couldn't believe it's going to happen, because they made the process so not really difficult. Is that the word I believe, I really think they are just exhausted department. They don't have enough resources to handle everything in timely manner. The delay is just the delay that for signature they make you wait for 6-7 months. For a little picture, fingerprint, if it's not right, make you wait for 3 or 4 months. So after a while, you look like a cold feet. It's gonna happen, but you don't know where. So when I went for the ceremony, I was really a little bit in shock. But I remember when, honestly, the thing is really triggered. It's really happening. It's really good. I'm telling you that there is something crazy happen. It's the Mr. President. They have a letter. He's looking at you deer in the eyes, in the camera, and he tell you, you're part of her and her for you now. You do her part. He's telling you, you belong to United States. You belong to her. She loves you now. The president talked to you in person, but it's like a recording thing. But I look at, holy crap, Mr. President himself, he's talking to me. He's pointing his finger to me. I say, that's your responsibility to protect it. You know how, from a person who, I worked hard, and I always work hard, but what you achieve, what you achieve up there, somebody can take it away from you with no justice. And now you see it when you work hard, it's handed to you completely. It's yours. Don't look at the negative thing. It's not going to happen, or people like media or whatever. It's really, truthfully, the law above everybody. And I loved it. I love it. So that moment, when actually, when I swear the oath and everything was great until the gentleman.
Oh, we lost Toby.
Yes, sir.
I think, Toby, we lost your video. Are you still there? There he is. He's back. Go ahead, Khalid. Yeah, he's back. We lost
So
video.
the moment I swear the oath, and actually I have a friend and few friends behind, and they said your eye was watering. I never admitted. You know, like I'm standing there. No, I didn't. But believe me, I did.
I cried like a baby, brother.
I couldn't hide it. Then he turned around and everything's done. Like just he swore the oath and he said, now, for you guys, he said if you were contractor, he said everything, and I was not paying attention. Like I thought, you know, and he said, and if you were interpreter for the United States, stand up, and we would like all of us to thank you. So I just like, holy, I'm be recognized for my service because
absolutely.
I appreciate a lot of soldiers, a friend of mine, they say like you did serve, Khalid. You put the uniform, you get shot.
Yeah, you did.
But the official it was a job. Look like what you said. People put a mask on because it's all about money. It's a job. But for me, I believed in what I did. But it's no one official.
I'm alive because of your service, buddy.
Thank you.
I'm alive.
Too, sir. Me too. I have a beautiful thing because of you, sir. Thank you so much. It's really, I cannot say enough thank you for the thing I gained from you and the team we worked with. And I want to appreciate for sure Sergeant Christopher Barrett. I remember that dude. He was great always, and I have to say his name. It's just like he's a great guy. He saved my guy. He saved my life. But what I'm saying, when they recognized my effort, it was almost as valuable as a citizenship because I felt I can stand now, and that's when I have 4th of July. I've been in America for 9 years, and every time they say stand for your service for whatever, I always feel look like I'm stealing it. That's not belong to me, so I don't stand. And that's the only time I stood up, and I really have tears in my eyes. Like, yes, it's mine. I earned this thing, and I'm happy for it. It's worth it.
You feel free to stand anytime anyone asks about a combat veteran, because that's what you are. You're more of a combat veteran than a lot of ass clowns down there collecting shit right now.
Exactly.
But hey, Ranger Susi is in the chat room, and he wants to make sure we say hello to you. You know, you have the cool thing is, like, Troy, you know, like Khalid, you know, he comes in, he joins us, and he's all of a sudden surrounded by like famous people. And I mean guys like Todd Vance, you know, just he just you know, like he ends up after he leaves us, or after we leave him, really, is what happened. We left the country and did a change of authority, and the 1st Brigade, the 25th Infantry came in. The next Stryker unit came in and replaced us, and you know, it got hard for him out there, and you know, like he stayed the course, man. And not only did he take up with his words, he took up with his hands. You know, he learned how to shoot. He became a decent shooter. He would hang out with us at nights when we weren't training the soldiers and we were, you know, rehearsing our stuff ourselves. We got him dialed in pretty good. We had him some pretty solid throwaways. And I don't care. There's probably like, that's, you know, someone will try and prosecute, whatever, dude. Eat a bag.
Statute of limitations.
My man was like ready to go.
Well, and, you know, I have to put it this: shooting was not really the only thing. That's like I said, I think I mentioned to people I never been trained, but by training the Jundis, the Iraqis, and your guys, I don't know what your guys breed of, but you never get tired, you never quit. People talk about the SEALs; they are great people. I walked beside one of them for a few minutes. They are great people, but your guys, like a really hardcore people. And you walk this 7 miles to the shooting range, and this guy, that's got the Sikh Iraqi Turk. He had
no training. We would put it on him.
You see all these Iraqi Jundis, they die and fall off, and we put them in the truck, and I have to walk to show them example, because that's the thing. Your guys walking, and I'm jealous. I'm a competitive person. I love what you guys doing, and I want to be just like you guys. And this is, I have to say this. I have to clear this really. What immigrant is one thing. I don't want to be anything special. I just want to be like you. That's a lot of people don't see that. I left Iraq not to become here something special. Absolutely. I already saw what special look like. It's you guys. You guys are good men. Love the nation. You loved your nation. You loved and you sacrifice everything. And now I know what money is comparing to the business. I don't think soldier got paid well. Like it's fairly, so I think you did it for no money. You did it for the love of the nation. And how can I not admire that? So I want to be just like that. I just want to be like that. So I compete myself, walked the terrain. So after your unit left, when I worked as a combat translator, I didn't need to shoot. Oh, you guys get shooter. I don't need to. If it's come to me to shoot to protect myself, we're screwed. It's come to the interpreter. We're done. There's nothing left but the walking for miles, doing recons and do things, and stay for hours and night, and you go and end of the world to try to do something. I couldn't survive without the ability I gained from you guys. I never run a mile in my life, and with you guys, it started like, let's go for a walk, 7 mile. Okay, it's just walk in the park. Let's go, hanging out, and 135 degree. That's
oh yeah, I forgot the temperature part. The 135 degrees is key. Yeah, Khalid, you really stand as a, Toby mentioned, we've had one of my interpreters on before, and quite a number of my interpreters who've survived are here in the U.S. on the State Department TERP visas, and I think you serve as an inspiration not only to them, but anyone else that comes in this country through the legal immigration process, whether from the northern border, southern border, or flying over the pond, coming as an interpreter, or however. I mean, you come from a war-torn country, a country that is has known probably, well, I know for sure your age you've known nothing but war and
on the
death
list
and despair, and come here and not only spent the last 9 years to earn your citizenship, doing it the right legal way, but also become a productive member of society, a business owner, and everything else. I can't think of a better example to anyone trying to earn their citizenship. Anyone coming here, whether they served as an interpreter or they're just trying to come here to live the American dream, and you kind of mentioned this, it takes persistence and patience, more so than they probably ever thought they'd have to do it, but it is possible. There's nothing it's not impossible at all.
I'm not the only one. And honestly, I have when I worked with the Tomahawk. If you remember, I have my brother. I brought him to the camp and we accept him as a soldier because he's like a high school educated in Iraq. He don't know how to speak English, and he was a soldier, and he's until today a soldier for the Iraqi army until today in Iraq, and he's said Iraq is his home. That's his place. He can't speak English. He don't deserve to be here. I'm just that's something. If you want to come here, at least speak our language. Like I'm not prejudiced. Have 10 languages is great.
Can we record that? We just need that on.
Yeah,
we need that on.
It is recorded. So one thing, like, I want to make sure everyone understands, and this is one of my sly ways of, like, proving a point. There's people that I know are watching this show that are not fans of certain policies. And, one of the things that they like to say is like, oh, there's, this Muslim ban and there's this ban. Khalid's from a country on the list. He went through extreme vetting and he passed. And he's a citizen. And you know who's not a citizen?
I wasn't going to say anything.
This guy.
I was going to say anything, but I was
and I'm not saying this from a place of jealousy or covetousness. I'm saying it from a place of pride, because I know when I get the honor, I will weep like a baby. I will cry. I won't hide it, Khalid. I'm gonna sit up there and I'm gonna make a spectacle. And
just bring a box of tissues with you.
Yeah, no, I will reject them. No, like my soul saline will fall to the earth and quench it. No, like, for everyone that says stupid things about immigration and how they think, like, you are an example in so many different ways of just try and don't quit.
That's what I'm
trying
to
say
to you.
Just
Toby,
try.
This is what I'm saying. I'm not the only one. As I'm trying to say about my brother, I have my youngest brother. He was, when my mom got killed when I was 10, he was 40 years old, and he was always look up to me and trying to do what I do. So when I was working as a translator, he wanted to do the job. And of course, as an older brother, I told him, no, you can't. You're not allowed to do. So he left the house and he went and become a translator. He worked for the Navy. And that's enough said. I don't want to say a lot more about that because his job was extremely different than what we did. I don't know if I'm allowed to say anything. Navy is a different department than the Army. However, so he being, actually, he say a lot of things he say to me, it remind me new. Khalid, if I have to kill you, I have to kill you. That's his word. Like he worked in that behind the closed door. I don't know, maybe he's bluffing. However, he got to the U.S. in 2010. And he is, I don't want to really mention a lot. He is as successful as I am, maybe twice. He is in the exercise business, in the CrossFit. He owns chain of them now. And he is a citizen. He's a non-citizen. You know, he's 7 years younger than me. And believe me, that kid, if you think I'm an example, I look up to that kid. I look up to him.
Where's he at?
He is in St. Petersburg. Actually, he lives here nearby me, and about like the same. It's about half an hour drive.
And he's a CrossFit king.
Oh, he is a CrossFit king. I can tell you his CrossFit gym. It's called CrossFit 9. You could Google it. Yeah, and it's not. He's just not a trainer. It's not a trainer. Like he's a real estate. He watched the movie McDonald's, the story about McDonald's, and he duplicated it. So he's in real estate investment while he's doing CrossFit. And this guy is, today I'm talking, he's overseas franchising his business at the moment we speak. He is somewhere, I don't know, in Europe or something, franchising his business, not even 30 years old.
No, but that's a great, that's another.
Speaking of franchising businesses.
Yeah, go ahead, Toby.
Go ahead.
No, go.
Khalid, you got to tell us what your business is. I mean,
First of all, my name is Khalid Sati, and when I worked with you, I was as dumb as I don't know a lot. Our name system is different. My last name, it wasn't Raouf because that was my grandfather's name. My last name is my family name, which is Sati, meaning in Hebrew and in Arabic and in Pashto and all these language, it's mean the watchmaker. That's my heritage. My father, my grandfather, actually we own these kind of business since 1900. Where I come from. And in Iraq. And I didn't realize how, I not always ask myself, like people in torn countries and war and starvation. The starvation, it's really like people run with barefoot, and they wear a watch. Like that's not make sense, really. Like I've always, how did that happen? I figured this answer because of religion point of view. When they are so poor and the country does not supply them with the prayer time, they take their responsibility in their hands, so they keep their watches to pray. So my family as like technician, so we become very famous. So I have very rich heritage of knowledge. And I learned the trade in young age. When I was 7, I start learning. And when I turned 20, 22, I have mastered the skills and everything. So when I worked as a translator and my escape from Iraq or my situation, how I left Iraq, it was a journey that, I have heard some horror stories journey, but my journey was a little different. It's a little difficult. A lot difficult. I have to sleep in the desert for a few nights and stuff. And I lived in 3 different countries before I got to the U.S. One of them, it was the United Arab Emirates for 3 years. And when I come to the U.S., I tried to get the job as translator, and I realized the Arabic language, it wasn't really as significant here as overseas because it's the enemy's language. So you need to be secure. You need to be safe to deal with that. So the jobs normally for American citizen, not for immigrant, to be in these jobs, to be translator for the government in the U.S. Overseas is different. They need the linguist, so they hire anyone. So I started looking for a job, and I realized that there is some demand on my trade. When I started, I worked for almost less than minimum wage, and I didn't like the idea of that. So I just started small.
Oh, no one does.
Yeah, so I started a workshop in my home, in my living room. Actually, I went to Goodwill and I got a table and I modified to make it a workbench, and it started from there. I remember my first business card. I would never forget that. I went to public library. I have $1 with 250 cents metal. So I did Microsoft Word and I wrote my name and my contact number and I print only 1 page in 10 cents. I cut it with scissors and that's my business card. I have like 10 copy paste the name and contact number, and I get one page from these. They are. That's how I start the business, with business card of these 2 coins. The copy machine, you have to put the money to print. So I did that, and I get one page, and I cut it, and that's my business card. And I start walking to jewelers, and I hand them my business card. I handed the 10 business card to 10 jewelers, and one of them, I will never forget her name. Her name, Cherie Jones, a store manager for stores called Gessner State Jewelry. She kept that paper, and she contacted me 6 months later. These people gave me every support to become. I don't think I'm the best. I don't think, but I believe a lot of people think I'm prestigious watchmaker today. Like, I work on really sophisticated, very luxury items. The skills I have,
you really, work on Rolexes, bro.
Oh, that's what I do. That's all day long. I service Rolexes more than my hair. So it's become really, it's really, see, like it's for me, I don't know. So I got help. Shirishi helped me. Not just that. The family the first account I have with that business card, I will never forget Mr. Frank Gessner. I will never forget him. He's still alive and is still my client. He gave me his American Express, and he said, go buy whatever you need to set up a shop. I didn't use it. He said, just for backup. And that's his word. He said, you go to these people, big fancy store, they have TV commercials, and tell them I'm a watchmaker. And if they say, we don't trust you, tell them, call Frank Gessner. From $1 to $1 million, he will back me up if anything got missing. You know, so some people, you need to get help, and you just have to land around the right people. That's what started. And when you have the skills, you have the trust, and if you have the mindset to succeed, you're not to take advantage. In any business, in any concept, in any job, even in a job, if you work for somebody and you try to take advantage of them, like they pay you per hour and start using your cell phone, or you start texting a girlfriend, you try to date her through while they are paying you for the time, that's not a right mindset. Just tell them I don't want to work then, you know. So I put my head straight, give the time right, and treat people right. You give me $1,000 or $10,000 watch or $100,000 watch, I don't care. I get paid when it's worked perfect, not what the value of the watch. So that was my attitude. And the fancy and the luxury jewelers, they just love what I do. Until today, I don't know what to do anymore. I need to hire a few people to work for me, but it's based on trust. I trust myself more than anything. So.
Where's Gary V right now? Why isn't he listening to this? I mean, this is like pure gold right here. My man went to Goodwill to get a table so that he could work on shit in his living room. Like, that's what I'm talking about. That's what everybody needs to hear. That's what an 18-year-old boy in my house needs to hear right now. Like, that's
what America needs. Yeah, that's the drive. That's what this country was built on.
You know,
Toby. You know, that's what this country. Not only the immigration story of going through the process is how this country was founded when people came into Ellis Island, but that story right there is what drove this country in the 20s and 30s and 40s as immigrants came in, as people pulled themselves up by their boot, especially in the post-Depression stage or after World War II or whatever it may be, how they took from that, they took lessons in life that they had, and they just went after it. And they said, I'm going to be my own businessman, or I'm going to come up with a new idea, or I'm going to just, you know, my town or my community needs a service, or I'm going to serve my community, right? This is what... Man, Khalid, I've met you the first time really tonight. We talked a little bit before the show, but I've really met you tonight for the first time. And your story is so freaking awesome. It is so awe-inspiring because you capture in your story, and really, man, I think you could write a book on this. You capture in that.
I want to publish it.
What this country is about. Not just what makes this country great, but what this country is about. You capture in your 29 years of life. And then some. And you're not the only one. You're right. There's many out there, but in the grand scheme of things, you're a fraction of a percent. There's not that many. I mean, that are willing to do it. People are willing to go and put their hand out and get a handout for free and expect entitlements and expect everything to be given to them. They think they earn something. Here's what I know, man. You're not the first person I've met that's went through this citizenship process. And the people that I've met before that are from China and from other countries that I've met know more about this country because of the tests they make you take and the history they make you study than anyone that was shat out inside this country by their parents. Because when I sit down and talk with these people, they tell me, they question folks like, do you know, can you tell me the history of this? Can you tell me about the articles of you know, the Constitution? Can you tell me about what was significant about this event? And when I've talked to them and I've answered questions, they've been like, you've been able to answer more than anyone else. They said, you'd be surprised how many people that are citizens here that don't know this stuff. And I'm like, no, sadly, I'm not surprised. So you possess a lot in your head because they made you learn all that stuff.
Be very honest with you. I think let's put it this way, when I was studying my civics, I was having a great time because I'm doing it for passion. I don't want to learn it because I want to go for the test. The test is, actually, I said this as a joke, but it's true. They put me in the test for 4 times because the delay. One day they missed my fingerprint. One day my picture was a little bit awkward, or maybe I was ugly. I don't know. One day
you might have had hair. You might have had hair. That might have been it. Yeah.
The other time I went there, they said, really, that's their excuse. They said, we don't have an agent to interview you. So I just left and waited for 2 months. So I studied the civic. Finally, what I said, I told them this. First of all, I have to joke about that. But one thing I said, I studied the civics and I know so much about it that I can draw every single president now, not just answer his question. I can draw his look. I can get a pen and draw everyone how much I study about them. But it's not really, I did it not because of this. I made it a quiz at the home with my friend and, that my son and, like, who's the first president, last president, what they did, what they didn't. And when we read these, just the highlight, we go through details. Like, for example, I learned a lot about the Native American. That's something that's fascinating me because it is really, I'm trying to learn about this culture. Like, for example, the Comanchean, this is a tribal, Indian tribal, is the most brutal and lethal. And it taught me a lot about, actually, if you look at their history, you could understand how these small little tribal we fought, they acted the same thing. Like, if you really study the Comanchean culture, you're going to understand completely how to fight the little Afghani and the HUDs because they operate the same way. It's just 2 different things. So there's a lot of things. If you love this nation, you want to prevent damage, you have to learn all about the aspects. So the Constitution is power. The history of the United States is power. And I'm not power to anyone. It's power for my soul to make me get more passion to it. But regarding the success and the achievement and all these things, believe it or not, I reached level of security because it's all based on insecurity. I grew up in an environment, anything you do, somebody will take it away from you with no right. So I tried to establish security. I established a home, a stable job. And then, believe it or not, in the last 5 years or 4 years, if you believe it or not, my mission in life, yes, provide for myself, but I'm helping people. I have 3 or 4 friends, and I'm 100%, give them every single knowledge I know. Everything I can do. The little basic knowledge, actually, I believe the war wise you up. I believe I'm talking to a very wise man in front of me here. But without war, I think that the civilian individual, they miss a lot in America. They miss a lot of hardship. Let's put it this way. If you ask people about the Constitution, I think that's too much of a question. You just ask a simple person the question, have you ever been hungry? I don't know.
Yeah. Not many people have truly been hungry.
Yeah, they don't know there is a bite, there is a pain to it. They don't know how that feel like. If you don't know that, how are you going to appreciate like food? You're going to just throw it away. You need to, like, you know what I mean? There's a little basic.
No, so and have you ever feared for your life? Like truly feared for your life? Have you ever been hungry? Essentially suffering, right? There's an old saying we have, right? That doesn't kill you makes you stronger, right? It's just that it makes you stronger of a person. It makes you more appreciative of things versus being handed something. It is obvious you will always. You take your citizenship, you take the rights, the ability to, you're gonna have the ability to vote, all that kind of stuff that are given to you as a right of a citizen. You are going to appreciate them every time like they were given to you wrapped in gold, right? Versus someone that just blows it off and says, oh, I'll go vote next time, or, oh, I'm not going to exercise this right that's given to me as an American, whatever it may be. I'm
going to share with you a few things about, I think I'm going to share these based on passion. First of all, I still provide service for the nation. I helped my local police a few times for translation for hostage situations for free. Just they called me. And actually, I was having dinner with family and friends, and I just took the phone outside. I stayed with them for an hour to help situation, and I provide some for federal government, some service here and there. I don't look for any return back. It's just little thing I can do to this, and there is a lot going on. Like for example, we have mass shooting, school shooting. That's terrifying. I can't imagine that. The immigration, it's a major problem. Immigration system, it has a problem. I have a gentleman who is a judge, and he is advisor up, I don't know where it's Washington. I haven't been there yet, but he go there between time and time to advise the authority, helping a lady for advice. I believe the immigration, it's not a problem if it's a little tweak. For example, chain immigration, I think that's disaster. Chain immigration, like when somebody come in here and bring his mom and dad and everything, disaster.
Yeah.
I think they have to do something about that. I knew a person from Iraq. I'm not kidding. This is a life example. I can't say names. I don't want to mention names, but a kid, he was absolutely a person who bring for you as DVDs, if you know what I mean.
Oh, I know exactly what you mean.
So that's truly the wire kid. He say, Mister, give me $1. That's absolutely. So he figured a way to apply for the United Nations. He got a visa to the U.S. He arrived here in 2012. This kid, not even 23, I think, he brought 27 members of his family after him.
On chain migration.
Yeah.
And all of them, not even one, have a job.
Yeah.
No. And this guy, actually, he own a home now or rented. You know, I think he's still collecting or not collecting. I don't know what he do. I don't know what they collect, but that's really true. So there is sad stories, and I see it in South America. Here, we're in Florida, there's a lot of South American. They do the same thing. There's a lot of Ukrainian doing the same thing. You know, when you come as an immigrant, you have a choice to live off the welfare, and that's it. You know, that's the ultimate lifestyle, and start packing money and send it back home, which I disrespect that word. When I ask people, where are you from? And they say, like, home? That's the first question, like home. So what is it? What is the place you living at? Is this home, or is just like a Disney World? This is home. Your heritage from somewhere else, or your background. But if you decided to live in America and you want to be American, it's home. I learned this from the British, actually. You know, where they go, they live. That's their home. I'm English, yeah, but that's their home. Whatever. In India, it's home. So that's something really, really devastating. Limit of the financial resources or support. You know, if you come as an immigrant, one thing they give you like 4 or 5 or 6 months if you can't get the job. Number 3, if your home country stabilized, you have to have a temporary like asylum. For example, in Iraq, you know how many people go back to Iraq now? They come here as an asylum, and they went back. You don't believe that. I knew so many people. They come here and they fought for years to get the visa. They come here for 9 months and they left. And if you ask me why it's 9 months, and that's when they cut them out of the benefit.
Oh, really? That's when they cut them off.
Cut them off. They give them 200, 300 food stamp a month. They give them rent, $700 for a small little condo, whatever the people they can live in, and a bus pass and a movie ticket and a little education for language and rehabilitation to involve for 9 months. And that's it. I'm telling you, I know hundreds of people they left back to because they couldn't survive to be on their own. That's what I'm saying. You come to America, it's 50% of the trip to fit in the society and to become American. That American mindset. American, it's not paper. It's mindset.
Yeah, it's work.
It's mindset. If you think you become an American, you know what? I don't have cable. I don't have cable at home.
You don't need.
Yeah. When people, like when I have a girl staying over or something, you say turn the TV. I said no, that's not the TV. It's the like the depression mode. You turn it on, you're just going to be depressed.
Yeah.
Why do I need to watch that?
That's right.
Just fear tactic and everything. So that's not America. These all private sector. Media, it's private sector. Insurance is a private sector. You know, you don't need to get these private sector to make you sad. America, it's beautiful. Your guys, it's amazing. I don't want to say beautiful. I think that's wrong. You're macho man. It's very brave. But I mean, your soul is so pretty, so beautiful that you defend this nation and everything you got and more. That's what America looked like to me. And if you should adore that thing and you should love that thing. And that's what America sounds to me and how it's looked like to me. Not these little petty privatized company or corporation try to make you feel bad. Just stay away from these things. I'm sorry.
No, it's good. But hey, Khalid, we're running short on time. In our chat room, I put up a link to Clock and Watch Fitness, so everyone there can see your business, see your website. Are you on Twitter or anything like that? Can we tell people where to find you on social media?
I do have a Twitter. My name, same thing, Khalid Sati. My Facebook, same thing, Khalid Sati. That's like I really always my first name, same thing, nothing changed. And I really want to say thank you to Sergeant Susi. You know, even in the chat room, I did not forget about that. I admire him. He is a great entrepreneur as well. You know,
Yeah, he's a solid dude.
And anything I can do to support your channel and everything, my friend, it's a privilege to do that.
No, it's what
well, Susie wants to know if you'll give him a discount on a Rolex.
Tell him I have a few for free there. Haji Rolex. Come
yeah, Haji Rolex hit $5.
you got some Bolex? You got a Bolex for him?
Yeah. Well, I don't know really how to appreciate you folks, and thank you so much for your service. I have to say this. I saw Sergeant Nunn fighting, and I would never forget that. The Battle of Tel Afar, that was one hell of a battle, and this gentleman, actually, he did not want to take me because it was too dangerous for me to go. So that's kind of sit across from you in that camera. I'm going to say it, I'm an Iraqi cheap labor over there. Like for the American, they hired cheap labor, and he was protecting life of a young man. For no reason. That's what a good soul human being look like. And thank you so much for your service.
You meant a lot to me for a lot of different reasons, Bud. And I looked at you as a treasure to that country, and I look at you as a treasure to this country.
Absolutely.
And no thanks required. The honor was mine, and if anyone owes thanks, it's I. So keep doing what you're doing. I want to have you back on, if you will, because we got some great stuff that we didn't get into, but we'll have you back on in about a month or so, if that's okay with you. Kind of go through some more stuff. But make sure you check him out at Khalid Saati on Twitter, on Facebook. Go check out Clock and Watch Fitness, Tampa's premier clock and watch repair. And Khalid, man, welcome home. Welcome to America. God bless you. Thank you for your service, and keep doing great things as a homeowner, a business owner, and a great father, man. We're proud of you. We love you, and we're grateful to have you on.
Thank you.
All right. Thank you, Khalid. Thank you very much, sir. Good to meet you.
Stay safe, sir. Stay safe, sir, too.
All right.
I appreciate you.
All right. Have a good night.
You too.
All right. So, yeah. Wow. What a dude. What a guy, huh, Toby? I mean, just I don't know what to say, man. I agree. We need to have him back on. There's so many inspirational stories that he could. I mean, he goes against. Where did Toby go? All right, Toby, how'd you fall off? Really, dude? All right, let me call Toby back. All right, so you're looking at. If you're watching the show, you're seeing a old picture of Toby.
Hey, Khalid, hang up.
Khalid stayed on. You got dropped.
Yeah, it'll be all right.
There we go. There we go. All right.
All right, we're good.
Yep. Okay. I got to try to bring you. Let me bring you back in here. All right, but your video's not on, Toby. I need that to. There we go. Okay. There we go. Let me give you over there. That's
Look at them hairs.
There we go. Oh, my video's all messed up here. Okay. Well, you move a little bit. Let me see. Which one works better? Move to the right. Yeah, move to the right. No, your left. My right. There we go. That's better. One of those lefts and right. That'll work. Yeah. So, anyways, what I was saying was just, I mean, we definitely need him back on. He has got, not only is his story great, but he brings a hell of a lot of perspective and insight, right? And because shaped and formed by his experiences, that I think are just a great motivation to anyone looking, not only someone that's looking to become a citizen, but someone that's maybe graduating high school or college, or just trying to find their way in the world, right? What could they do? And if they think the whole world, like he talked about, don't feel sorry for yourself. Where did you go again, dude? What happened? You still there? There we go. I got you.
Go.
There we go.
And,
The
the guy found a job in the most austere of conditions.
Lean to your left.
Came here.
There we go.
and did the exact same thing.
Yeah.
And when he had $2.50 to his name, he got some paper and made a contact card, a business card, and then got a table from Goodwill, set it up in his makeshift living room, and got after it. Now he's a homeowner, a business owner, driving a Lexus and wearing a Rolex. I mean, like, there's no greater freaking story than that. Oh, and a citizen from a country that is on the list. I mean, like, everything about it just gives me a blue vein. Like, this dude is like, this is exactly what people need to hear. And, he should be speaking at commencements. He should be speaking at TEDs. He should be speaking like,
dude, he should be a guest at the next State of the Union. I'm gonna call it.
Absolutely, dude. Absolutely.
Right?
Absolutely.
Sitting
like
next to the first lady, like with the president touting his story.
Yeah, no, like, this is exactly why you and I are so blessed to have this show, because one, we know people like this exist, and we have a platform where we're able to share these stories with people, because I mean, this is what people truly need to see and hear, because this is exactly what this country was made on, and what this country, like, take the president out of it, but like, people like him are making America great again.
Right.
Like, that's hard work, perseverance. That's what's up.
I mean, his sphere of influence may be small, but it was enough to where he had people that he met, like the gentleman he talked about, and the lady gave him his first business, where the gentleman gave him his Amex and said, do what you need to start your own business, and he didn't even take advantage of it. He didn't even use it, right? But the guy believed in him and saw enough and said, this guy deserves a shot to do that. Or the lady, held on a piece of paper that he printed out and cut by hand for 6 months, and then gave him business, and now where he looks at. I mean, it just goes to show when we see small acts of kindness, of courage, of compassion, of all the ugliness we see in our country and the world, but let's just take our country for example here in the U.S., of all the hatefulness, and I'm looking at the media now, all the crap going on last night on the steps of the Supreme Court and everything else, and all the vitriol, and then which is shown, as he talked about, on these boxes, right? These just depression boxes, I think is the term he used. But then you hear these stories, and like you said, we're blessed to have this show, and this is why we do this show, and this is why we go through everything we go through to do it, is so we can maybe spread this word a little bit farther. And
you know who we need to spread it to? We need to spread it to the president of the European Union, because, like, maybe he needs to, like, be reminded that, this is America and this is why. And we don't need to kiss your ass. Just saying.
Yeah, just saying. Yeah. But no, we need to spread to everywhere. But we need to and every
they got more drive than you do.
Yeah, we need to spread this to all the politicians that want to talk about one way or another on immigration policies or whatever. Here's somebody who has went through the system. Guess what? It took him 9 years. But he stuck with it. And the other people that I've known, and including people like you that keep going after it and are going to get there, dude, I have no doubt that you're going to have tears rolling out of your eyes because you fought for this and because of what it's mean for you to get there, just like he did, and just like every other person does that gets to raise their right hand and swear an oath and become a citizen. I mean, dude, he almost brought me to tears when he talked about seeing that piece of mail. And you and I know when some of the shittiest places in this world, how appreciative of a little girl is the first time she even sees a stuffed animal, or a little boy is to get a piece of candy, or someone is to get an opportunity. And you see this stuff that we take as so mundane. Of course, now he doesn't like all that mail with the bills, but how much it meant to him to see his name. And yes, a computer printed it on it and all that stuff. But that's how when you have nothing, when you are absolutely at rock bottom, that you have never had that opportunity where you get something in the mail that has your name on it and it gets you that excited. Man, if that isn't just humbling, I don't know what is. I look at it.
Something everyone takes for granted, man.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Which like I do, because you've been a lot of places too. outside of this country and Canada and stuff. But you've been to a lot of places, and I've been to some rural places in this country, like in the rural parts of Alaska, which are like being in a third world country. And that you come back and you look at what we have and you just go, wow, how freaking gluttonous are we? Right? How my goodness, man, we have food before we have food, and then we have more food after, right? And that's just a 3-course meal, or just, we people freak out because they don't have 4G, or people in a plane going 30,000 feet going 600 miles an hour, and they're complaining because they don't have internet. It's
right.
Just, it's like you come back from a third world country which just doesn't have crap, and is glad to have a warm meal. And you look at it and you just kind of go, wow, we suck, or you go, wow, how blessed we are. Or maybe you
absolutely.
Say both.
How blessed we are.
Yeah. Right. We talk with our good friend Doug, the Shard, all the time. We always say, Doug says it all the time, right? The first world problems. We got a lot of first world problems in this country.
Yeah.
Right?
No, we do. And, it's so refreshing to hear that other side. And like we were just saying, we got to make sure other people hear it. We got to share that word. We got to make sure people understand that. But man, what a great show. It brought up a lot of stuff. I apologize because my mind's wandering because I'm remembering that 22-year-old man, risking his life to go take an accounting test. And knowing that his family was in great danger. He spoke of those that survived. He didn't speak of those that didn't. Things weren't good. His brother, how awesome was that? His brother went through our training. I remember that. I remember him bringing his brother in, to give him a safe place to be because he could stay with us. He didn't have to go home. And his brother's still fighting and whooping that ISIS ass, man. Like that, man, that's strong right there. Just a lot, man, a lot just through hearing all this stuff. It's just a lot. It's a lot to take in. Let's wrap it, brother. And let's look forward to, we got a show next week. Yeah. And then you're off for a minute. And I will have a guest host on, I believe on the 24th. I have a special guest co-host. Might not be that special, but it won't be you, so it'll be
special. It'll be super
different.
Special. There.
It'll be different. Maybe we should just call it a different co-host.
Yes. If I can, I will be in a top secret, super secret mission location. Maybe I can call in or something, or get a chance to listen. If I can, I'll try to do that. Yeah. But no, next week I will be coming to you not from the northern studio, not from the southern studio, but from the Mid-Atlantic Eastern studio, i.e. our nation's capital. So I will be coming to you again from DC, where I've been a few times the last couple months. So looking forward to that. Maybe I can go down and get some intel or get some first-hand information on something. I don't know. But looking forward to that. And so we will be back here next Tuesday night, 8 o'clock on stewandthenun.com. Be sure you follow us. Be sure you like our page. For God's sake, people. Like the page. Share it with your friends. Tell them to like it. But you can always follow us on Twitter, Stew and the Nun. You can follow Toby at Toby Nun, myself at Boohammer. And you can of course watch the show as if you're watching it now, but you can listen to it on Spreaker, watch on YouTube, Periscope, Twitch, or Facebook. And we appreciate that, and you sharing it with folks. And if you have ideas for guests, we have Khalid on. We have some other great ones coming up. Oh man, we got a lead on one that is gonna be a show of history. Like we will be, once we get that locked in, we will be pimping it out, because there ain't many shows left that we're going to be able to talk to people like this. So we are very excited on some ones we have coming up. So be sure that you guys tune in every Tuesday night, 8 o'clock. Be with us next week. And Toby, great find. Great. Thank you for bringing Khalid on, inviting him. Thanks to Khalid for giving up some of his Tuesday night. And thank you for all of our listeners and fans, giving up some of your Tuesday night to bring us into your home. So with that, we're going to play a little outro, and everybody have a good night. Toby, you have a good one. Thank you for joining us for another episode of Stu and the Nun Radio. We hope you enjoy your time with us because we have enjoyed sharing our time with you. Be sure to check out stewandthenun.com in addition to asking us questions and interacting with us on our Facebook page and Twitter. We look forward to seeing you next Tuesday at 8 p.m. Eastern here on Spreaker and Facebook Live. Also, we'd like to thank our sponsors, Warrior Media Solutions, PoohHammer.com, Veteran Outdoors, Graybeard Publishing, and Mighty Oaks Warrior Foundation. Don't forget to like our Facebook page and follow us on Twitter. Thank you again, and have a good night.